those are the people that are not going to learn from this. Because if you think you have nothing to learn, well, you're not going to learn anything. If you think, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn from this, there's so much to gain from this, there's so much to figure out and dissect, you're going to come out winning, because that's exactly the type of person that gets the results and the insight and the wisdom that they wanted. If you're one of those people that feel stuck and feel like you've hit a wall in your leveling up self-development journey, in your health journey, in your healing journey, this may be the video for you. The main concept I want you guys to take away from this video is that where your fear is where your task is. What does this mean? Where your task is, okay? We are looking for tasks. We're looking for purpose. We're looking for, okay, what do we do? We're looking at all these videos. We're constantly and excessively being told other people's advice. What is your biggest fear? I promise you, it is the biggest life-changing concept, and the biggest life-changing thing you can do for yourself is face the biggest fear. Put your task at that. So acknowledge what it is. I cannot stress to you enough how powerful it is to come face to face with your biggest haunting fear. It is such an unexpected leveling up and shift in your life. It's usually your worst experience in life that makes you and gives you the best progress. When I talk to some of my clients and I see what they want, I see their goals, their visions for themselves, it's this big thing that I see over them that's stopping them from getting there the most. It's not the small things. It's really not. It's this big shift that you need to take from acknowledging and facing the biggest fear, the biggest thing, the biggest obstacle, this big thing that you keep putting behind you. The thing that you don't want to talk about the most is the thing that you need to talk about the most. And don't get me wrong, not in a way where you need to go talk about it with everybody. You need to talk about it with yourself. So sit down with this in your mind. Play with the idea that, okay, what if we uncover this? What if we talk about this? What if we just expose ourselves to this? What if this is the case? Like, what if this fear of mine, what if it's true? Maybe your fear is that nobody likes you. Okay, let's say it's true. The faster that person just acknowledges what is the problem and overcomes it and changes, the faster that label on themselves, or that fast that fear is dissipating, right? Let's say you have a fear that your husband's cheating on you. Okay. Well, what if it's true? To just hold on to these fears and to keep them looming over you is kind of holding you hostage. It means these fears have a hold over you. They have the most power over you. These things have this looming grip on you. We don't want something outside of us, external, that's not God, to have power over us. That's not what we want to do, right? How can we release ourselves from these fears? If they're holding us down, trust me, from my personal experience, there is something so profound about diving deep into your biggest, looming, darkest fear. Okay? And it's not about saying like, okay, the fear of spiders, the fear of this, and then just going and being like, okay, maybe my fear is not that bad, I can get over it. No, really dive deep into it. Like, uncover. Like, really, really uncover what is it that makes you so uncomfortable about that. Diving deep into this one aspect will uncover so much for you and will do so much for you in life that you don't realize. Think about this concept as a dissection, okay? So you have this factor. Let's say factor A, okay? To dissect factor A, you learn so much, you grow so much as a person, you develop in so many other areas in your life. And when you uncover and dissect factor A, making you less afraid of factor A, because now you know what it is. You've looked in the face. Now your other fears kind of dissipate. And now everything else is kind of more in balance and more level. And now you have such a more clear perspective on what's controlling you and what had you where you were at, what manipulates your emotions, what changes you, what impacts your emotional state, what impacts your productivity, what impacts your level of progress, your level of happiness, your level of fulfillment. And this is where all the secrets are. That's where we want to go, right? Because we want to move forward. To move forward, you have to uncover that rock. You need to upturn it. All this up and down progress without looking over underneath this rock and without looking this fear in the face is fake. It's a facade. You're going here, you're going there, you're making progress. That is nothing compared to what you're going to do once you overcome this. Once you look this in the face. You can fool yourself all you want. You can go up and down with the progress. You can go up and down with your days. You can tell yourself, okay, I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to go work out. Whatever. Okay? You're just going like this. This is the big work. This is the thing that's going to really push the needle, right? That's what we want. We want the thing. We want to do that one thing that's going to give us the biggest impact. That's going to give us the biggest results. Just like when you're investing into stocks, you're not going to choose a stock that's just slightly moving, right? You want to invest in something that you know over time is going to bring you the best results, which is your index funds, right? Your S&Ps. So that rock is like an S&P. If you want to talk about financial terms, I know it's kind of random. But think about it. Like, honestly, it's not going to be fun. It's definitely not going to be fun, but is it going to give you the best results? Yeah, it is. It's going to give you the insight and the results and the progress and the wisdom that you're looking for. The wisdom that you are endlessly searching for on how to be a better you. Right? There's something missing. There's something lacking. And if you're not willing to dive deep, well, then what is life going to give you? Why would life give you what you want without you doing the hard work? Right? This also brings us to harnessing our shadow side or our darker traits or the bad in our lives to then bring us good things. Think about it this way. If you guys remember from my previous I think it was like a year ago video, I talked about the Joe Dispenza diagram, and I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it talks about the energy frequencies and how being authentic, being in a bliss state, gratitude, those are all high frequencies. And then when you're on the low frequency, that's like shame, guilt. Okay? Guilt and shame are going to really run you into a rut. If you are constantly having this subconscious feeling of fear, shame, guilt, instead of embracing this bad, this fear, whatever, if you have a huge fear and it's taking over your life and you're constantly in shame of it, you're in a low vibration. Done. It's done. You're in a low vibration, low frequency. Done. Just off that alone, what's better? Facing it and getting further and further closer to your goal, like going further in life, or just staying here in this low frequency. The risk of just facing it and knowing that you might have, oh my gosh, it's gonna feel horrible, but then you're out of it because you faced it, right? It's like looking in a dark tunnel and thinking, well, maybe there's an out of this. Well, if you never go through the dark tunnel, you're never gonna know, right? You're just gonna be lost. Like, maybe that's your way out and you have to go through this dark tunnel. There's really a light far, far, far in the distance. There's a light, but it's going to feel horrible going through the dark tunnel. But then after you're done, all the fear that you had before you were going in the tunnel is gone. It's dissipated. It's out the window. Because you did it. That's behind you now. You faced the fear. Why are you not scared of the tunnel anymore? Well, because you already faced it. You looked inside of it and it was fine. It was the tunnel. It's not as bad as you thought, right? I can tell you this from firsthand experience. It's never as bad as you anticipate it to be. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it really is that bad. Once you see the real truth, it really is just as bad as you thought, or worse. And that's true, but for a certain time. There is going to be a time where, yes, it's going to feel worse. Like I said, going through the tunnel, it's going to feel horrible. Let's say, yeah, okay, you go into the tunnel, you realize, oh my gosh, my fear of everything going bad was really going bad. Like, this is actually worse than I thought. There's bats, there's spiders, there's, who knows, there could be like a strange person in there or something. Maybe those are your fears, okay? And they're all coming true. And it's actually just as bad as you expected or worse. Okay, now you ran through the tunnel. You're out the other side. Okay, you're able to now, you're out the other side, which means it's good. You escaped and you got out, okay? Now let's say you have to go through the tunnel again. Or let's say we dissected the tunnel. We opened it up and we looked at it. Okay, there was like a couple bats. And before I get there, I'm just gonna explain the preface for this. When I say it's not as bad as you're anticipating, wait it out. Wait it out, okay? Let's say we dissect the tunnel. We see there's bats, okay? It was our nightmare. It came true. There was bats. Well, if we go deeper into this fear, okay, well, the bats, well, what's so bad about the bats? Are they gonna harm you? Probably not. What if they don't? What if they're literally harmless? People have been around bats for a long time. People have bats in their home. I had a bat flying through my house one time. And sometimes it's not as bad as you're expecting. So sometimes you see the fear, oh my gosh, it's worse than what I was expecting, or it's just as bad as I was expecting, and then you dissect it. Don't stop to just exposing yourself to the fear, dissect the fear. Really get in there and dissect the fear, and really think and ask yourselves the hard questions. What is so bad about this? What is the worst case scenario? And now try to see any type of good. Try to see any type of good. Okay, well, that's where the bats live. They like the dark. That's where they feel safe. Okay, they're not going to hurt me. The spiders, usually spiders do not hurt you, right? We're all scared of spiders in our homes. We see the spiders, we want them gone. No, nobody wants spiders all in their room, right? But really dissect it. And the people that think this is kind of a joke, and the people that think like, oh my gosh, no, BS, that's so BS, like this is not true. Those are the people that are not going to succeed. Those are the people that are not going to learn from this. Because if you think you have nothing to learn, well, you're not going to learn anything. If you think, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn from this, there's so much to gain from this, there's so much to figure out and dissect, you're going to come out winning, because that's exactly the type of person that gets the results and the insight and the wisdom that they wanted. Some people gain so much wisdom from eating just one food. This is a spiritual practice. Some people will just choose to only eat potatoes, okay? And then they'll gain a spiritual awareness, and they'll gain a certain wisdom from just this certain practice. I'm not here to push you guys all to doing a certain task or thing. I'm just going to tell you, and I know the people that are watching this and that will understand and get it will get it. If this video finds you and this resonates with you and you benefit from this, that's amazing. But it's not for everyone. It's not. My advice is never for everyone, because my advice is hard for everyone to take. I promise you, the worst fears you possibly can have, really, 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 really dissect them, and you're going to see that they're not that scary, especially with the exposure of it. When you fear the unknown, you fear what you don't know. So when you really dissect something, and the more the more knowledge you gain about it, the more you see all sides of it. It's like dissecting something and you see kind of every single inch of it. The more you now know, And then by default, the less you're going to fear it, right? Because now it's so known. It's so boring now because, okay, well, I've already touched on that intensely. That is the power I want to give you guys, is the power to dissect and the power to really take something and alchemize it. It's your reality. You can alchemize what you want to alchemize. Alchemy is the ancient practice of changing one substance or state or material to another. And that is also why you see in my symbol for abundant indigo, the alchemy symbols. Because alchemy is transformation. And that is where transformational health coaching comes in. So that's where me as a health coach, I'm all about transformation, alchemy, inner alchemy, right? We have the power to change what we are and become the better version of ourselves. Sometimes we don't even know what that is. And that's all okay. We can uncover that as we go. But this is what I really want for my clients, and this is what I really want for you guys watching. I want you guys to have an inner alchemy. I want you guys to have change. I want you guys to see new things. Like, I want you guys to have those aha moments of like, oh my gosh, I never realized these things were possible. I never realized this type of inner wisdom before, right? So don't hold back from facing your fears. It's simple to hold on to these fears, have them looming over you. To hold on to a fear, have it looming over you and ignore it. It still has control over you. It's got its claws in you, okay? Not only that, but you're in a lower frequency and a lower vibration. And when you're in a lower frequency and lower vibration, you don't feel as good. And you're not attracting as much good, high vibrational things, right? Like attracts like. The more we can get away from that, the more we can take out these, remove ourselves from shame and guilt, bring our vibration and our frequency up, the better our lives are going to be, and the better we are going to feel, and the closer we are to our potential. That's all it is. I want the best for you guys. If you guys want to do health coaching with me, click the link in my description, and you guys can message me on my platforms. And before I go, if you guys have any specific questions you want me to answer, I'm going to make a Q&A video. So put all the questions that you have in the in the comments of this video, or you can bring them over to my Instagram and then send me a DM, or you can send me, just send the questions anywhere. And then I'm just going to accumulate the questions and then make a Q&A. So let's do that, guys. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.